So to officially jumpstart our event, invite our uh, let's invite Mr. MON ABREA to give the welcome remarks for this afternoon.
Are you ready, class? Good afternoon, everyone. I think I can summarize everything that I feel right now in one statement by saying, this is a dream come true. For 10 years, I've been knocking on the doors of BIR. We've been trying to work with the quote-unquote most unwanted or corrupt agency, but now they have opened their doors, and we are now calling all developers to actually help BIR address the bureaucracy, stop the corruption, and make our system more efficient. So if we don't take this opportunity, it's our loss. So we thank the leadership of the Department of Finance, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, for actually giving this a chance. It's not easy, but I also would want to reach out to all our developers to please don't waste this opportunity. As I have said, it's been 10 years since we started our advocacy. And at the core of everything that we do, it's always tax education and reform. And you know how we have worked with a lot of celebrities, a lot of media partners, just to send our message across. And now it's finally here. So again, this is a dream come true, but I hope we will further realize it, that each taxpayer or all taxpayers in the Philippines will really enjoy doing their civic obligation, which is to be part of nation building by paying your taxes correctly. So this is not just about the mobile app. This is us being all on this together to make sure we will have what we all wish for, an efficient, fair, and simple tax system. So again, welcome to the Tax Hub, and to all our partners, maraming.
We'd like to open the floor for the press conference. So we'd like to invite the media if you have any questions about this initiative about digital transformation. So we will be asking the signatories to explain about this initiative first.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Winston Damarillo. I'm the founding officer of DEFCON Philippines. So we're a hacker group. We were put together 10 years ago with the intention of increasing the IT capability of the Philippines. And so we're really excited about this particular project. So you know, the hackers, di ba, anong kailangan nila? We want projects that are, number one, challenging. And what's exciting about this particular project is BIR has always been a black box to not just the developers but to all of us. Diba? Parang it's a scary government-y kind of thing that I gotta do. And we really wanted to thank the BIR and advocates like MON who keeps pushing to make the BIR more transparent. Right? So this is actually a very welcome invite to the geek community to participate. I think number one that geeks can anticipate is, for the first time, I think we get to see in mass the APIs of BIR. So we're probably gonna have that link, right, from technology and innovation to one of the most important institutions of the country, right, where we participate in taxation and hopefully in nation building as well. So that's first thing that we're excited about for this particular event. The call for the hackathon is nationwide, so I'm hoping everybody in the country participates. There will be 2 rounds of selection. Submission is open now. If you go to hackatax.ph, the submission site's there. There will be both cash awards, entrepreneurial incubation offers, as well as actually officially the ability to do business with the BIR or to facilitate doing business with the BIR, business opportunities para sa mga entrepreneurs and startups over there. So on those 2 rounds, by November 22nd, we're going to make a selection of the finalists. So 10 finalists will be selected around the country, and they will be invited to come and present their ideas and innovation in Manila on November 22nd. We'll pay for the travel and accommodation if they're from out of town. And then from then on, they get to participate in the second round of the hackathon, which is to actually build the product. And we anticipate people that join the hackathon deliver a product that is beneficial to the taxpayer. So a lot of the confusion or a lot of the questions I get is, kailangan ba tax filing app? So it doesn't have to be that. It can actually be a tax assistance application, it could be a tax education issue, it could be registration, making lives easier. So it doesn't have, the participants don't need to be tax experts, right? We'll just all bug them and ask him what the mechanics would be. But the intention here is to make first the BIR accessible to the masses, which it should be. The conduit to that are the developers, the geeks, right, who then make that access easy and friendly and fun, either through a chatbot or to a mobile app or to a web app, or even to a voice app like Siri or Hello Google, or, right? So as innovative as we can possibly make it. And then finally, this particular hackathon is open for everyone. So we invite people of all stages and of all ages to participate. From students who typically has, if you have ideas to change or to improve, put it in code, right? And all the way to professionals who have always had ideas on how to make things better. So yun yung mechanics on how to make this work. We are excited about all the sponsors. Unfortunately, we can't talk about all of them now just yet, but on November 22nd, you get to meet them. But we're delighted with the amount of support we're going to get around the world, especially from the American people, the USA and the American companies that wants to see us grow in this aspect of our nation building. So hopefully everybody gets to participate, and we're looking forward to seeing you again in the rest of November 22nd when we announce the top 10 finalists. Thank you.
Hindi.
So, we now open the floor for questions from the media. Please.
So take this opportunity to clarify, ask questions. Just don't ask for tax incentives and exemptions. The AR is not willing to give that now. But any questions will be accommodated. Yes, po.
I'm Donnie from Business Bureau. I just wonder, sir, parang maikli lang yung time niya. Ngayon yung press con tapos sa 22nd. Ngayon, wala naman kung sa news.
Actually,
right?
Actually po, na-announce siya officially nung 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, na-announce siya ni Commissioner mismo. And this press con is for the mechanics, so that it will be more clear for everyone, especially that we are opening it also to students, to even to non-entrepreneur. Yung talagang gig pero hindi mo alam paano gagawin business yon. This will be an opportunity to actually help you because we will have mentors, not just from the business industry, but also tax consultants. I think we are also tapping the Tax Management Association of the Philippines. So, you will be assisted in the process. Kaya yung pagpili po ng 10 finalists, it's really more of filtering para sila yung mag-benefit dun sa buong program. So, it's actually a journey towards 2020 na magkakaroon tayo ng mga, para yung top finalists will go through a lot of mentoring and assistance from our team, all the partners involved in this project.
More questions from the media?
I'd just like to ask, to what extent are you actually asking from the students? Because most students would actually just do a lot of work on software and hardware. So can you be more specific on what are you expecting from them? Kasi to come up with something like the BIR program, tapos you have software and hardware, I'm thinking something like somebody who has the knowledge in taxation also should be involved. So it's mainly the creator of, for example, applications, right? So it's not really clear. Ano bang hinihingi nyo sa mga hackathon players?
Yeah, so I think what's nice about hackathon is it allows people to self-organize. So in most cases, pag their students are involved, sometimes their teachers, their thesis advisors participate. No? And it's also a great opportunity, especially in a university setting, to encourage early sa mga students yung multidiscipline, that they can invite people from accounting schools to combine with the computer science schools. And if they want the hardware na papadali ng tax, to combine with the electronics and communications and engineering part of the school, right? So one of the things we're encouraging people is to not just write code, but to create business solutions and be innovative. So from that perspective, when we go to the universities, we're telling people na ngayon, hindi ka lang gagawa ng technology for technology's sake. We're actually solving a problem. And because we are solving a problem, invite kung sino yung gusto mong kasama. And we also, like I said earlier, hindi lang siya tax filing. You don't have it. Maraming problema around doing business, di ba? Mahirap mag-register, mahirap mag-file ng tax, especially if you're an SME. So for people that can envision those solutions, whether they're students or professionals or combination, they can participate. So to make this easier for them, para bite-size siya, after the announcement, we're also doing a series of webinars to explain kung ano yung kailangan, ano yung gagamitin, how to use the API of BIR. I think it's really important for students to learn how to use API. And then, how to be an entrepreneur even. Because the result of their product can actually become a product that people will buy or rent to aid them in filing for taxes. So, marami silang matutunan. It's not just a code, but it's also forming organizations and being entrepreneurs.
Honestly, I think imagination is our only limitation here because try to look back. Remember all your hassles, problems with BIR. Now think of a solution. We don't need an end-to-end template process or system. Maaaring team card lang yan, maaaring verification lang yan ng team. We know how, katabi ko kasi si Bea, nahirapan ako magsalita, how difficult it is to go from one RDO to another RDO because they are restricted or constrained by their own system. So if we can just provide this solution, which is exactly what BIR is asking us from now, you have a solution, come forward, we'll help you, we'll work with you, we'll fund you. Imagine mo yun, ipa-fund pa rin na kayo, pero magbabayad pa rin kayo yung tax. Okay? So, just imagine that. So whether you are a student, a professional, an entrepreneur already, pero sa akin yung sinabi ni Winston, mas importante, collaboration is key. Maaaring taga-ibang school ka, taga-Mindanao ka, taga-OFW ka, but you have that crazy, brilliant, super idea that will finally unlock or resolve a specific problem that every Filipino has with BIR. Then, that's exactly what we are expecting or asking from our developers. So, ibigay nyo na please. Gawin nyo na. Tulong-tulong tayo. So, 10 finalists, kung pwedeng ang 10 solutions, lahat, gawin natin. Siyempre, meron kong pinakamananalo, pero if all the solutions that will be proposed can be funded and can be worked out, I am willing to be part of that, will help you para talagang we can come up with a solution. Again, don't think of, diba may mga existing app now, we will also have our app. Meron mga end-to-end yan like ours will have end-to-end. That's not what we're asking here. We're not asking for a ready product na registration to closure ng business. No, just a specific process or service that you would want to automate or you would want to facilitate para mabawasan yung problema natin sa BIR. Sa akin na, think card lang. You can come up with a problem, di ba? Sa Facebook, may nagtitinda ng tin. May namemeke ng tin. Di ba? Ang daming issue, think card pa lang yun, ha? And yet, we are all complaining na sana social na yung tin card, na plastic na, or whatever, but they don't have a budget. So come up with something like QR code 14 or receipt, I don't know. Hindi po ako IT, pero katulad nyo, marami din ako yung struggle sa BIR. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to really work with the bureaucracy or with the Bureau of Internal Revenue.
follow-up for the BIR. How do you plan to execute this? Kasi you have so many regulations, you have so many policies. Tapos you are actually going to fund or hire anyone who wins in this contest or this hackathon. Is that how I?
So yung funding is not our fund.
That's why we have private partners. BIR is not the one, even the sponsorship, the fundings, hindi po si BIR kasi bawal sila doon. So si DevCon ang conduit. Pagod ka. Si USA saka si DevCon ang...
Well, it's a partnership between the government and private. The whole point kasi here is it's a public good. Hindi ako namumuna. Wala na akong budget. No, I think it's actually privately funded. And I'm excited because there's actually an outpouring of private support for this, right? Because I think it's about time that we innovate the way we pay taxes. Diba? Masakit na nga magbayad ng tax, mahirap pa, diba? So it's kind of an area where people really wanted to innovate. Also, getting the young involved because, you know, a lot of people growing up, parang they just try to avoid paying taxes, right? And if you know ahead of time na it's easy, it's possible, it makes you be a contributor to nation building, then it's a little bit different. So, kaya din the format by which PIR is asking for help is actually, it's a leapfrog. They go right into digital transformation to a hackathon. Can you imagine explaining hackathon to BIR? Took a while, pero mas madali mag-file ng taxes. But I think this is more than the mechanics, is a signal that our government is ready for innovation, and BIR is a great example for that.
We'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Jose Magsaysay, Jomag, the new president of the Asian Consulting Group. Also, we'd also like to acknowledge Attorney Lani David. If you can join us here in front.
So she's really the key to success. The Deputy Commissioner for Information Systems Group. So without DepCom Lani, none of this will be possible. So we are now awaiting her arrival. Parang galing sa ano.
Sir Jomag, if you'd like to join us here.
Yan, hawak ka niya kagad yung mic.
Ito the Q&A.
Another question.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Teen from Today Online. My question goes to for anyone. Sir, I was sort of late, no? I got lost.
We need an app for that.
Are there already participants, or we're still looking for people to participate for this hackathon?
We have early participants already, but we are looking for as many as we can get so that the whole country is represented. Unfortunately, medyo late yung announcements with the press, right? So we really need your help as well. Spread the word, no? We wanted people from Mindanao and Cebu and the other and Visayas to really participate this. Para we can hear the voice of the whole country in terms of how we want to get this done. So we're still calling for participation, and then stay tuned because we're also starting to explain more what we want them to do and give some more context about the projects.
Right. One reason I got lost because I was trying to search the Google Map. It says it's in Kamling. So I went there. So anyways, somewhere in Kamling and lagpas ng South Triangle.
Bakery po yung nasa mga.
Well, anyway, so are there categories for students and the professionals?
There's no distinction, there's no category. It's really open to all. You can collaborate, you can team up, whether you are a student, a professor, an entrepreneur, an investor, an IT geek. Again, the collaboration is key. Baka kung naghahanap ng life dito, mahanap mo na rin. So, everything is possible.
So, there was this just concluded hackathon, the biggest one. They joined the Guinness World of Record. That just happened at Araneta. So those who joined there, or they have already the ideas, can join still here? Can still join here? Or we are open?
Yes, actually, ang hindi lang pwedeng sumali dito kami. Kami nandito. And anybody can join except those from BAR, DevCon, USA, PCG, the partners. We are not allowed to join. For obvious reason, may conflict of interest. But everybody, kahit ikaw yung 10 beses nang nanalo, as I have mentioned earlier, we are not asking for an end-to-end system or solution. Kahit na issue lang ng team card, issue lang ng verification or transfer, if that will help address a specific problem with BIR or a solution, then that is already acceptable.
Thank you so much. Follow-up question ako, yung mga coders na Filipino overseas who would like to join. So kahit wala physically in the Philippines and they're overseas, they can still join the competition.
Yes.
Sino ba?
Sa mga iba.
Hi, Ma'am and Sir. Alan from BTV. Okay. Sir, sorry. Ang from BIR po, si Ma'am lang na naka-necklace.
Si attorney na.
Sa attorney pa po. Ma'am, oo, actually this question po sa kanya para lang ma-push namin yung story. If you want media na makatulong rin po, no? Ma'am, gaano kalaki yung problema natin in processing tax payment?
Problem in processing tax payments. As of now, we have actually 6 payment facilities or payment channels. So hindi ko nakikita na problema. In fact, you can now seamlessly file and pay your taxes. Before we only have the EBIR forms, no? Now we have TSP, no? So another payment filing channel for taxpayers, no? Through the ETS, through the tax software providers, no? Now with respect to the payment channels, we have launched actually 2 new payment channels this year. It's the PesoNet and Human Bank. And we also partnered with PayMaya for another mobile payment app. So I don't think electronic payment would be a problem.
Okay. Ma'am, how about this? Can you just please elaborate yung objective po na itong program ninyo, itong Haka Tax PH?
Objective or goal of the hackathons. Well, marami yun, ano? And one of these is, of course, we want to leverage with the IT experts, IT enthusiasts on the technology, no? Because, you know, as, well, we have to admit the fact that we are undermanned in the BIR, no? So, we cannot compare our capabilities to those in the private sector, no? The IT experts, no? So we want to leverage with them by introducing these hackathons. We want to brainstorm and develop new solutions that will help the BIR. And eventually will help you kasi you are the taxpayers. You will be the one to use these applications, no? Hindi naman ang BIR. So it's for your convenience and satisfaction. Actually.
Thank you.
Again, as we have mentioned, the hackathons is not just for filing and payment. Lahat ng possible services or needs natin sa BIR na right now, the manual pa, this is something that we can address para matulungan lahat.
And if I may add, no, right now, we are doing a review of the business of the processes of the BIR. And eventually, we're going to do a review of the processes. Kailangan na yun because of the trade law. No? And there are more tax reform programs coming. No? Nasa package 1 pa lang tayo and then tax amnesty. So we really need to review our processes based on this. New reports.
Other questions, friends? Yes, ma'am. Dahil nakadilaw ka, kung mag-aabot sa'yo. Sana may meeting kami dito.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Susan from Los Angeles. Yeah, in your newsletter, there's an announcement here about the intellectual property rights that would be, not
2 weeks ago, and we met with students there. And they're also passionate about IP, so this is great. So the idea of Hackatax is not for the sponsors to get free technology, right? It's largely to encourage a community action so that collectively, the collective minds produce innovation, right? But the important part of hackathons is that the intellectual property and copyright of the software that people write belongs to them. Number one. Number two, the mentors of the hackathons will be more than happy to guide the students and the participants on how to own and protect their IP. Number two. Number three, actually fairly unique, unlike all hackathons. Most hackathons kasi would be nice to write this, they spend the weekend, they spend the night, they drink beer, and it's done, right? Ito kasi, the goal of BIR is to encourage innovation so that people produce products or services that the citizens can use and to turn those into a revenue-producing product for the authors of the software. So tutulungan namin sila in addition to do that. That's why we have incubation partners. So talagang end-to-end siya. So from bring us your innovation, collaborate, let's work with the BIR to help collectively tax-related services. And then if you are able to do this, then you become your own software company na at the end of the process.
So we have a few more questions.
Yes, sir. Mga ito hacker.
I apologize.
Ay, si mga naka-yellow. Sige po, naka-yellow ka rin.
I apologize. I'm not media, so if that's okay, I can ask questions.
Sige ma'am, hawak mo na yung mic. Cool.
Okay, my first question is the app end user primarily targeted to the individual taxpayer, or is it also going to be open to corporations? My second part of my question is, if it is going to be open for corporations as well, are you going to encourage some kind of way for, especially a lot of companies overseas, the Philippines or America, that have a way to make payments and things like that? Because I know I have experienced difficulties in making payments here myself.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, we are not talking about end-to-end type of taxpayer or process. Every pain point or all pain points. So kung naisip nyo for tax, for TIN card, whether individual or corporation, kung ang naisip nyo registration, whether individual or corporation, it's up to you. Kung ano yung gusto mong targetin. What we are encouraging here is for you to propose or suggest a solution to a specific problem that you see or that you recognize as very critical para mas mag-improve yung tax-paying experience natin lahat. So whether for individual or corporation, it doesn't matter. Because the Hackatax is not actually, as Winston said, hindi siya one time. After this, there will be another round, another phase, and the mentoring, the network. I think what we're doing here also is building a community. Na marami na tayong mga hackers or mga ITs, di ba? But now we are building a community of those who are very concerned with BIR. Kailangan tulungan natin si BIR because they are not just constrained with manpower, they are also constrained with resources. So if you are the expert, if you can develop an app, you will also attract funders. And yung sinabi kanina ni Ma'am, yung paano magiging business, etc. That's why we have mentors in the Hackatax. Hindi po siya, pag nagka-idea ka, eto premyo mo, bahala ka na sa buhay mo. So we will make sure that that can be used and that taxpayers will benefit from the solution that we have created in this Hackatax. Okay po Ma'am, nasagot naman po. Parang hindi ka masaya. Okay na.
I have a lot of questions, so I'll just...
Sige. Yes, si Kuya. Yes sir, next ka po.
Din po for software developer. So, tanong ko lang po, if sa November 22 ba, kailangan po may prototype na ba ng idea or
I think between now and November 20, kung ganun ka kagaling, maybe resume ba? No, I think bawal recruitment dito, sa labas mamaya. So, between now and the 20th, we just wanted your concept, your vision, maybe your team, talk a little bit about yourself. That's all we need to consider you to be a finalist. You will have sometime between, concept lang siya. So, and then you'll have sometime between, that day to March to really produce a product.
So sa January po, sa bootcamp.
Mas maganda yung camera yun.
Process. Hindi pa po kailangan production ready.
P30 Pro.
We would encourage you to have a production-ready product by around March, before the filing deadline. And again, not necessarily a filing app, but it's something that could assist the taxpayer. It's something that could help them re-register, change data that relates to their TIN, or producing a blockchain PIN, since you're the blockchain shirt. Then that's kind of the focus for this. We really want to encourage diversity of ideas, right? So don't just think about the individual taxpayer filing, right? What about the overseas Filipinos that have a hard time filing taxes outside of the country? What about everyone that's got a digital payments issue in terms of, I just want to pay digitally, right? I don't want to write a check or go to the... So anything that we're really looking for diversity. So the more ideas, the better.
Yes po. Sige po, Mr. Blockchain 2.
So, Paul po, software developer. So, follow-up question po sa question ko ni Edil. Tanong ko lang po kung by next year dapat po production ready na, di ba? And based po dun sa nabasa ko po sa FAQs sa Hakatax website, so parang gagamitin na po siya sa 2020 tax filing.
If it's filing up.
If it's a filing app.
Kung filing up. So, kung filing up po, so malakihan po kasi yung coverage po ng magiging app. So, meron po bang way yung developers para po makakuha ng parang kahit test data or something para po magamit in development? Kasi syempre po, sa ganyan po kalaking project, data is king. So, kailangan po yung
I think the first place to go, we're going technical a little bit, is to, we'll publish the API of the BIR. And that's, I think, the first place to go. You'll notice tax filing is not as complex. Everything leading to the filing is where it needs a little bit more expertise, di ba? Depending on who you are, your family, your income type, dun siya medyo complicated. And that's not really a test data, but maybe we can ask our friends from BIR about statistics of who are the likely filing. Maybe ilan yung married, ilan yung, or maybe one. But we have tax, so ito, di ba? It's easier to code, may katabi kang subject matter expert. So Mon is our subject matter expert, and then T now is also helping us out with that. So that collaboration will set up early now.
Well, actually, dun sa mga personal information, wala na siya masyadong impact sa tax because of Trino, di ba? So, but we will guide you kung ano yung, kasi ulitin ko ha, it depends on the pain points na pipiliin nyo. Kasi kapag filing yan, then you already limit yourself kung ano yung mga data or concerns na kailangan mo. Pag ang kailangan mo lang another specific process, then iba na naman yung data na. So we will guide you once na napili yung 10 finalists. But for now, then we just throw to us all the concepts, then the group, the board will decide sino yung magiging 10 finalists. Yes sir, magre-recite po tayo. Nakakatakot mo tanong si Susan, may ganun yung cellphone. Yes po sir. Baka mali yung sagot na live.
Hello everybody, I'm Jonathan from
What's up?
or representing My Movie World / Saksi Ngayon newspaper. This may sound like a silly, ignorant or innocent question, but still, because I'm wondering, and for and on behalf of the many of my colleagues present in this conference, this press con, specifically the members of the entertaining press. And so on behalf of them, let me ask this question. Why did the organizers of today's event not think of inviting the likes of Boy Abunda and James Reid, who I believe are stockholders of ACG, is that right? So considering that, celebrities like them will most definitely make the widest possible information dissemination of this endeavor.
Okay, I will answer it directly. Number one, James Reid was supposed to be here, but he is sick. As of last night, he's not feeling well, and he will have to prepare for their ASAP home. So we have to give him that break. Then, as to the celebrities, that's part of the contribution of ACG, the tax hub. All our celebrities will be helping promote this, whether through traditional media or through social media, video teasers. You will see our celebrities helping promote and campaign for the Haka tax and the rest of the tax reform that BIR is actually doing. I understand and I actually am with you, sir, na talagang importante na meron ding mas familiar faces na nagpo-promote. And they will be part of this, don't worry, sir. Okay na po tayo, sir.
I have another question. What are the criteria for winning here? For you, sir. Thank you.
Hindi kasi ako yung magde-decide kung mananalo. So, for the criteria, 30% is relevance to the challenge, 30% impact, 30% technical innovation, and the quality of proposal, 10%. But, yes ma'am, PIR will further discuss the criteria.
Okay, let me read the criteria. The criteria for judging will include one, idea or the technical innovation which pertains to the responsiveness of the solution to the challenges. Second, creativity pertains to how innovative the participants are in solving the challenge. Third, we have the design, which covers the user interface and the user experience, which include the flow, the graphics, and the skills required to navigate or operate the app. Fourth, we have the business model, and this pertains to how value is created and how it is monetized. Fifth, we have execution or demo, which will show if the app work or if the participants can produce a prototype or a minimum viable product. And last, pitch, which pertains to the quality of the presentation, which includes the briefness and conciseness of the presentation and the ability to defend the solution, business model, etc. Did I answer the question?
I know we have a lot of more questions, but we'll be accommodating to more. So later we can ask more questions.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jane Uy Mateao. I'm a blogger, but in a previous life, I was a CPA with an accounting firm. So congratulations to everyone for this effort. My question has to do with the data that's going to be given to the developers for them to work on and have a prototype. Basically, my concern is coming from the cybersecurity and the privacy issues. What happens to the data? Where is it going to reside, and is it going to be the responsibility of BIR? Because the app will have to work with not only the APIs but the data. So where's the data going to go, and who's responsible?
If I remember it correctly, it's in our presentation, the backend will be the responsibility of the BIR. So the data will reside in the bureau. We will have to take care of your data, of the taxpayers' data.
So the app will just be a
So the backend, again, the backend is, will be a responsibility of the bureau.
everyone will be connected.
Just to clarify, on the development process, we will not be using real data set, right? It will be random Filipino taxpayer. So there's three things for the developer to work on. Number one, the APIs, which we'll publish. and will only be accessible securely on the BIR servers. Number two, we'll probably produce sandbox data, which is dummy data. That's what the developers will be working on. And then finally, before it becomes a real product, we'll probably go through a final production testing, which means the app will be tested for its ability to protect privacy also. Kasi if you're doing a tax filing app, you collect personal information. Right? We want to make sure that once those are submitted, they're deleted from where it was collected. But that's not the responsibility of the BIR, that's the responsibility of the developer. The BIR, once it crosses their servers, then they will decide on the back end of the BIR. And I think all appropriate data privacy and cybersecurity mechanisms have been set up.
So one last question.
Good afternoon. Mark Navata, staff founder. So I would like to ask this question. Can we partner someone working for the BIR?
No.
No.
It's part of the restrictions. None of the partners, including BIR, that on USA can be part of the competition, meaning as contestants, as finalists. Okay, so again, the Hackathon is not just about developing a solution. We will help you make sure that that will also be a profitable endeavor for the team or the developers who will be part of the hackathons. And before we close this press conference, we just like to hear from one of those who are really helping the startup community, our president, Johan.
Well, I'm excited about this project. Definitely ECG, PIR, and all the others, and all of you, no? We really help connect us together and think about the BIR in a better way. No? I mean, let's face it, no, they always talk about death and taxes. Well, taxes are really part of our lives, and we should really be have nice thoughts, nice feelings about BIR, and this is part of what we're going to do. Make tax part of our lives. When we think about taxes, it's always thinking about it in a smiling face and always better. So it's easier to connect to BIR, work with BIR, and pay our taxes better. Thank you.
Hello? Alright, thank you so much for your questions. So if you want to ask, for those who weren't able to ask, we will be having a panel discussion later for the Tax Hub Talks. So before we proceed to the next event, we'd like to ask our partners to have another photo opportunity.
Pwede na kayo. Picture na lang sila.